There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go, show recaps, predictions, sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go.
What is going on, everyone? It's the EVP from the EVP Show, and we are live Saturday, April 4th, 2026 for your NXT Stand and Deliver recap show. Stand and Deliver is now officially in the books, and it was a fantastic show. Obviously a little emotional, especially the opening match with Jacy Jayne. Superb video package NXT WWE did for her as she walked out, through Gorilla. She's gonna kill it on the main roster. So, but obviously, what's up, Kyle? Obviously, I knew it was this was it for her. We may see her on NXT one more time, but I don't know. They sent her out in style. She was the one that ended Stephanie McMahon's long title reign, and then she was a two-time champion. She with her two NXT Women's Championship reigns, combined it was over 200 plus days, and on top of that, she was TNA Women's Knockouts Champion too. So, congratulations, Jacy Jayne. I knew she was losing tonight. Didn't expect Lola. That definitely was a surprise for me. But Kendall Gray is going to be the face of NXT for a long time. She's fucking phenomenal. So I'm not upset with them putting the title on Lola. Obviously she's done a lot. She goes to AAA. So giving her a title reign is not going to be terrible. Definitely was surprised about Blake, but I think she's still going to continue to go after Tatum Paxley. But I think she's going to join up with Vanity Project. WWE NXT Women's Title Triple Threat match: Jacy Jayne versus Lola Vice. Kendall Gray 8.75. I agree. What a tribute to Jacy Jayne. Like I said, I just got into NXT about 8 months ago, maybe 9. I don't know. I didn't really like her at first, but she started to grow on me. More and more, obviously, Fatal Influence, I think, was a lot better with her than when Mandy Rose was there. I think she can wrestle circles around Mandy Rose. Obviously Mandy Rose, explore other avenues, which is, if you're gonna make money, you gotta make money, whatever. But Jacy Jayne deserves her flowers. She was a workhorse champion. She wasn't, one of those champions that, hid in the shadows. Like, she had multiple triple threat matches on the second reign. Beat pretty much, she beat both of the women that was in the match tonight. So just before we get the show started, definitely want to send the flowers out to Jacy Jayne. I'll talk about it tomorrow on Scoops, obviously, but what I feel like is coming up next for Jacy, she did a podcast interview talking about her her main dream match would be like Rhea Ripley or Liv Morgan. So I think if they put Soul on SmackDown, move Jacy to Raw, with Stephanie there, and Liv, she's gonna do great. I think she could be in consideration possibly for Money in the Bank. If not this year, she's gonna be a champion on the main roster. So I love you. I love Jacy. She's phenomenal. Um, Great way to send her out. I knew she was losing going in, but watching that entrance the one last time, WWE NXT, what I'm gonna say before we get into the show tonight that um anybody that thinks that NXT is not far superior to WWE product, the main roster, then I don't know what to tell you. Because if you watch SmackDown Friday and you watch NXT Stand and Deliver, it's like night and day. Like I don't know if I'm gonna give Stand and Deliver like a 9 out of 10 or anything like that. That's a pretty high rating. I would say at least an 8, probably. There were some really good matches. But I would have gave SmackDown probably like a 2. WrestleMania build is absolutely terrible at this point. I talked about it last night on the SmackDown recap. I really feel like at this point maybe they should move Brock and Ova to main event night 1. Cody and Randy's story is shot. There's really not anything they can do to salvage it. Without The Rock getting involved, and I don't think that's gonna happen. So, yeah, not happy about it. They could, a lot of people have talked about this, so I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. JD from NY just about had a hernia last night on his show, but just. It is what it is. Pat McAfee. I guess he's the one that has more than wrestling has more than one royal family. But nothing about this makes any sense. Obviously, as reported, that was planned since Elimination Chamber, which is fucking mind blowing. I know it's ultimately a TKO call. So it is what it is. I don't think Randy wins, so but I'll talk about that obviously on WrestleMania predictions, scoops, and we still got 2 weeks. I hope Cody wins, because this is just a fucking repeat of last year with Cena. So, and Cena deserved to win, even though I didn't like it. He deserved it because he was going for 17. Randy Orton really hasn't been relevant for a long time. So I think they've taken the air out of this feud. And so we'll see what they do in the next couple of weeks, but I don't have high hopes for it. What's going on, Lou? Good to see you. Yeah, main roster JC Jane is going to be fucking phenomenal. Love to see her on Raw. Or SmackDown. Either one I'll be perfectly fine with. I don't think they need to put her and Soul on the same brand. Lola's obviously not coming up right now. Tatum either. Blake, she's definitely not coming up right now. So yeah, I like Fallon's ready, but Laney Reed is not. So I don't see all the Fatal Influence coming up at one time. So, but we are live for the NXT recap. NXT Stand and Deliver recap show. Shout out to Miami Great for the background. Obviously, I had to put my queen right here, JC. One last. Well, it won't be the last time because obviously, once she gets on the main roster, I'll definitely have her on some thumbnails and stuff like that. So. Shout out to Stampede, 2 really good wrestling pay-per-view PLE today between Stand and Deliver and Sakura Genesis, completely different from each other. Yeah, I seen you were talking about that in the chat. I will tell you, and I did talk to Miami and them about this, if WrestleMania sucks, maybe starting in May, I may scale back one of the shows. Obviously, LFG is going to be starting, which I really love LFG. A lot of people don't, but I do. I may cut the TNA show or something like that. I don't really know. Like I said, I'm not gonna give a definitive answer, but I'm sick of WWE. I'm definitely not gonna cut Raw, SmackDown, probably because that's where I get the most views. Obviously on YouTube, NXT. I'm damn sure not cutting that. Maybe slice away from TNA. I don't really know. I mean, it's my views aren't great, so definitely starting to consider AEW. I don't know about 2 shows a week, but we'll see. We'll see how WrestleMania goes. If we have a repeat of last year with the Cena, I do, if we're gonna run fucking Randy and Cody all the way to fucking Survivor Series, I mean, I don't know. I don't want any part of that. I think it could go to SummerSlam, but I mean, we'll see. But I don't know. I'm sick of the product. Unless they're gonna finally pay off this Roman Rock story, then I don't know. With the war going on, I'm not 100% sold that unless it ends, that WrestleMania is even going to be in Saudi next year. So it's a year away, but it doesn't seem like it's letting up. So and the fucking gas prices are not letting up either. But anyway, appreciate you coming in, Stampede and Lou. I will see both of you guys for sure. April, yeah. Before we get started on the show, just a couple announcements. The WrestleMania prediction show will be live on the EVP Show channel April the 15th, which is 11 days from now. And at 7 p.m. Eastern, we have a full panel. So I am still taking like a couple people's names down in case people have to drop. But it looks like we're gonna have a pretty full panel. And right now we have 12 matches on the card. Also, April 19th, which is going to be night 2 of WrestleMania. I will not be doing a perfect Tempe. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. We can do that after before the show, after the show, also you can hang out. We can talk about it. Shout out to More Than a Diamond, the Unseen Bling, Paz Queen. Good show you guys put on today. Obviously, I did check. I did check out DW Radio. Great show today. You guys really nailed a lot of big, huge focal points. I 100% agree with you. I was screaming along with you about this Pat McAfee stuff. I know a lot of the times we don't see eye to eye on storyline, but I 100% agree with you. I think this Cody Randy feud is fucking shot. So a lot of great valid points today on the Pat McAfee stuff. Obviously, I will talk about that more tomorrow on Scoops. But I agree with you. Everything you said, I 100% agree with. I feel like this match is dead in the water at this point. As I talked about on SmackDown Recap last night, they might as well just make it into a fucking tag team match with Cody and Jelly Roll against Randy and Pat McAfee, and let Brock and Oba main event night 1. That's just my thoughts. I mean, I know you're a big Cena fan. Obviously, I haven't really been the biggest Cena fan growing up. Even though I didn't want him to be Cody at Mania, it made sense. But now, like, I'm actually really pulling for Cody to beat Randy. Just because of all this bullshit. I think Cody. I wouldn't be surprised if Cody doesn't come out with the black hair and shit. I honestly would. Now, is he going to go full Vaughn Hill? I don't know, but I think that we're going to see a different Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. I do. I really do. Unless they add something else to the story, but that's more about Scoots. But shout out to the more than the Diamond, the Unseen Bling Queen. Make sure you give her a follow on X. Talk It Up Podcast. Make sure you give them a follow on X and a subscription on YouTube. World of Greg, Dr. Reg, and After Slam Podcast as well, all part of DWE. I'm actually live tonight. This week I'm going to kind of be testing it out. Maybe through all the way through WrestleMania week. I'll be going live on my YouTube page, my X, and I'll be going live on Talk It Up. Miami kind of shot me a text before the stream and said maybe just try doing it on Talk It Up page and just see, you know, what the difference is as far as views and stuff like that. My YouTube views are pretty good. I was actually surprised, and that's a huge shout out to you guys, whoever it is that's watching the shows, because I didn't have but like 8 comments on SmackDown last night from the same person. But I had about 80 views or so on YouTube. I've been averaging close to 100 on Raw and SmackDown. NXT, I finally got above 100 as well. TNA had been around 50, 40 or 50. Been a little dip this week, but with the product, you know, it's kind of the way it is. So to see. Yeah, I was in there. Definitely was in there. Yeah, I mean, I'm being sarcastic, but obviously, you know, with how they are booking it, I think it's, you know, we know Jelly Roll's getting involved, so it's really terrible. It's fucking awful. I'm a Cody guy. I think it's just absolutely terrible. What's going on, Kyle? Stampede, Blue. See, you got both you guys on April 15th for WrestleMania prediction show at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll talk on the main balance, same prediction show I have on that day that may work. Perfect, yeah. I'm up for, you know, anything, any new content. Obviously, a couple of small things before we go into the recap. April 19th, which is day 2, night 2 of WrestleMania. I will not be doing Sunday Scoop that day. I'm gonna do a prediction show for Mania, one big prediction show. On the 15th, and then I'll be doing a night 1 recap on the 18th. After I don't know a fucking time, because from what I'm hearing, we're looking at like 3-hour pre-show and then maybe an hour and a half post-show each night. So I don't know, maybe 6-7 hours a night. So I don't know. I mean, it may be a fucking super late starting time for the recap. I don't know yet. Just gonna have to play it by ear. We're still a little bit ways away, but I will be doing night 1 and night 2 recap. But there will be no Sunday Scoops on March 19th. So if you do tune in to Sunday Scoops every week, make sure you tune in tomorrow, which is Easter. Happy Easter to everyone. Unfortunately, I'm not back home with my family, so I will be streaming tomorrow. Unfortunately, I didn't mean to say fortunate. Unfortunately, so I will be streaming tomorrow, and then next Sunday, I will be doing scoops. But the 19th, I won't. I'll pick it back up on the 26th, and that will be the season debut of LF2 Season 3, which will be on Sunday as well, at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So. Yeah, Stampede, let's definitely talk before the prediction show. I also have Nitro coming in per WrestleMania, so looks like a couple of new people will be coming in for that. So, all right, let's get into it. Good show. Like I said at the beginning, phenomenal thing they did for Jacy Jayne when she came through the gorilla. I tweeted several tweets trying to get a follow, but she's my favorite. She deserves her flowers. Can't wait to see what she does on Raw, SmackDown. She definitely getting caught up. She cried after the match. You can tell the way she met Laney and Fallon at the curtain and gave them a hug. Like it was kind of like a goodbye. Laney Reed tweeted after the match. JJ like with a star. So like yeah, this is it for JC. She's done all she can do on the NXT roster. So tonight, already NXT Stand to Deliver is from the factory at the district of St. Louis, Missouri. We're gonna see a bunch of title matches. WWE NXT Champion Joe Henry defends the title against the Absolute Ricky Saints, All Ego Ethan Page, and Tony D'Angelo in a Fatal 4-Way match. Plus, Fatal influences my queen, WWE NXT Women's Champion. Not now, but Jacy Jayne defends her title against AAA Mixed Tag Team Champion, one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champion with Mr. Guanalo Vice and Rand QCC, Kendall Gray, and Triple Threat, which Kendall Gray is phenomenal. She's doing me the face of NXT for a while. We're also going to see the NXT North American Championship match with Miles Bourne. Baby Randy is what I call him. He's fucking great. That's definitely my quarter boyfriend. Against Johnny Gargano, and that match absolutely delivered. So, no complaints from me on that match. WWE NXT Women's North American Championship match. Tatum Paxley, which I love Tatum Paxley. I love her character. I love everything they're doing with her. But what are they doing with Blake Monroe? Yeah, a little bit concerned there with that. WWE NXT Tag Team Championship match. The Vandy Project are super young, talented. Brad Baylor and Ricky Smoke defends against the Los Americanos, Bravo and Araya. And then another match I truly don't understand the outcome. Obviously, Ruka has a match coming up Tuesday. I had mentioned it in the chat. I'll talk about it tomorrow on Scoots, but I do really feel like maybe Izzy Dame ends up taking JC's spot on Fatal Influence. She was kind of in the background Tuesday. It's kind of everything kind of worn down with the Cullen, so I think that'd be a good spot for her. She's phenomenal. So I don't think Fallon and Laney are coming up. So, but Soul got the win tonight, obviously, and she's gonna face Izzy Dame Tuesday. There is a face champion now, so I'm sure Izzy Dame is gonna want to go after that title. I don't know what they're doing with Soul. Like I said, she won, so like she finished top 3 in the Rumble. What are we doing? Like she 100% is the best female on that roster. Maybe not promo wise, but like athleticism, what she does in the matches, she's fucking just incredible. And then obviously we got the countdown match, which was pretty good, wasn't terrible. The 10-person mixed tag match with Hank and Tank, former WWE NXT Tag Team Champion, which they won those titles last year at Stand and Deliver. They beat Fraxium. So they are one of my favorite tag teams. WWE LFG Season 2 winner, Shallow Hill, who's been getting a lot of like screen time, a lot of big wins. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him win a singles title here shortly. EK Prosper, I don't really know who that is. To be truthful with you. And Rand QCC, WWE Women's Speed Champion, Ren St. Clair, versus Birthright, Alexis King, Shannon Stacks Lorenzo, Charlie Dempsey, Uriah Connors, and TNA Women's Knockout Champion Ariana Grace. So we did the countdown show. Obviously, I'm not going to go through all of that. Sarah Strawberry interviewed Lola Vice and Kendall Gray. Oh, okay. I don't know why that. We were talking about on the prediction show, and I looked at the card, and I was like, that's fucking Eli Knight. So, like, they called him EK Prosper tonight. So, yeah. I was like, who the fuck is EK Prosper? Like, I thought it was supposed to be Eli Knight. So, yeah, thank you to that. Stampede. I will talk about this interview because I liked it. Sarah Shire interviewed Lola Vice, Kendall Gray about both women having a controversial finish in the last match. Lola says no one benefited, and Kendall tapped. In fact, Kendall Gray then points out the 3 counts, so she's going to become champion. Sarah Shire then points out both women being crossover athletes from martial arts. Lola then talked about MMA, given her passion, aggression, knockout ability. She then says she can dance over them. Kendall Gray then says wrestling about control. She's going to try to break both women down. Sarah then asked each woman why they will win. Lola says you can't train for someone like her, and everyone will feel the heat. Kendall then says she's the most well-rounded at wrestling. I agree. She then says she's going to prove she's not the future but the now. Sarah then wishes both of them luck. So let's go ahead and get we'll get a hype video throughout the whole like storyline between Sol Ruth and Zarya. I enjoyed that thoroughly. That was great. Good stuff. Knight was too close to LA Knight on the main roster, and LA Knight used to go by Eli Drake in TNA, so they changed the name. Interesting. Okay, so he's going by EK Prosper now. Perfect. Yeah, I mean LA Knight, you know, they're really doing big things with that guy. How many Money in the Bank has he been in? Yeah. So I made a post earlier. Obviously, I don't know if you guys saw it. I mean, why don't we do Sexy Red versus Pat McAfee with Cody Rhodes on a pole? I wonder if Ari Emanuel and TKO and all them will make the call in for that. I mean, that might be a little bit more entertaining, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm trying to be funny, but so like I said, I love the way they told the whole story of the video package with Sol and Zarya. I'm not really crazy about the winner. I think Zarya need to go over there. So then they show what happened between Tatum and Blake. Obviously, after Tatum retained, Blake pulled her through the little door at the bottom. And then also there was an interview with Vanity Project. I'm not going to really go into that. So let's get started on the matches. We head to ringside. Big Joseph, welcome to the show. And this is the pre-show match. Charlotte Hill, Ren Sinclair. Yeah, I'm going to start. You're just giving me the ratings right now. Vanity Project, Brad Baylor, Ricky Smoke versus Los Americanos, 6.75. Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't the best match, but I don't really think any of the matches were bad. I wouldn't rank any of them under like 6.5 for sure. So let's talk about the pre-show match. We'll go through it really quick. Charlotte Hill, Ren Sinclair, EK Prosper now, and Hank and Tank. It's going to be going up against Birthright, Lexus King, Shannon Stacks Lorenzo, Charlie Dempsey, Uriah Connor, the TNA Women's Knockouts World Champion Ariana Grace. So the match starts off with Sinclair getting in Charlie Dempsey's face, begins yelling at him. Obviously, he created Ren QCC with Ren and Kendall Gray, and then turned on Grayson nails her, and everyone begins brawling. Uriah Connors and Charlotte Hill are left in the ring. Charlotte sends Connors crashing to the corner to find first. He then delivers some shoulders on the midsection, tags in Walker, Hank Walker. Walker then hits a splash on Connors and tags Ledger in. Ledger then hits a splash of his own on Connors, but Shannon stacks Lorenzo and Walker tag in. Dempsey gets a tag in and delivers some uppercuts to Walker. Sinclair then tagged back in. Ariana Grace gets in the ring. This is just a free-for-all. Sinclair then nails Grace with a couple shoulder tackles, a clothesline, and a sling blade before following up with a face buster. Ascension and a reverse chicken wing on Ariana Grace. Dempsey then pulls Sinclair off Grace to break the hold, open the door for Grace to roll up, and Sinclair kicks out. Grace hits a sling blade on her. So then EK Prosper and Uriah Connors in tag in, and Prosper uses stacks as a launching pad to hit a tornado DDT on Uriah Connors. Prosper climbs up the ropes, but Ariana Grace gets in his face. Reception door for Lexus King, which nobody knows who that is. Glow in the Rock, Brian Pillman's son. Pushes Prosper off the ropes. And for Dempsey to nail him on the outside. Connors hits a running kick to Prosper and pins him. The Ledger breaks up the fall. Charlie Dempsey hits a German suplex to Hank Ledger. Sinclair begins yelling at Dempsey again, and then she wails away at Charlie Dempsey. She delivers chops. She then hits him with a double underhook suplex, and she nailed it. But Ariana Grace then nails Sinclair and hits her with a crossbody off the ring apron. And Shannon Stacks got busted open. I don't know if you guys saw that on the outside at the end of the match, but he did get cut. Stacks nails Walker with an enziguri. Walker then hits Stacks with a spinning slam, but King nails him. Lexus King. Shallow Hill then hits a body slam on Lexus King and sends Connors crashing into the mat, but Hank Ledger hits Dempsey with a shoulder tackle off the middle rope. Walker tagged in and immediately tagged out to Shallow. So Walker and Ledger then hit a double splash on Charlie Dempsey, and Hill follows it up with a cutter for the 1, 2, 3. So the winners of the pre-show match, the 10-person mixed tag match, is Hank and Tank, Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. The LFG Season 2 winner. Can't wait to see who wins LFG Season 3. Because Kendall Gray is going to be on Season 3. So looking forward to that. Shallow Hill, EK Prosper, and Rand QCT WWE Women's Speed Champion, Rand Sinclair. After the match, Sarah Schreiber, Robert Stone, Blake Howard ringside. They're greeted by the winners of the tag match. Stone then says the energy is through the roof. Blake Howard, Sarah Schreiber, and NXT General Manager Robert Stone talk about standing delivery PLA and good final thoughts. So then out comes the general manager of NXT. Shawn Michaels makes his way down to the ring. He welcomes the WWE Universe and previews the card. He says championships will be decided and rivalries will be decided tonight. Shawn Michaels then says tonight will take this place to a whole new level. Shawn then brings out Sexy Red. So yeah, let's see Sexy Red. Maybe Sexy Red is in Cody's corner at WrestleMania. I wonder if RA is going to make the call on that. I don't know. I'm still pissed about this whole Randy Cody shit. But we'll save that for another day. Tomorrow. Tomorrow's scoops are going to be good. Not a lot of breaking news or anything. Like, I'm going to give you guys probably what I feel like the last 2 matches for Mania. I don't really know which matches are going to be on which nights. But it'll be a fun show because I'm going to be talking a lot about everything that went on with Pat McAfee, the Chris Jericho stuff, NXT and all that. So you guys make sure to tune into that. Sexy Red comes out. She says she's ready to see some action. Yeah, I mean, Cody needs to bring in the real hot rod, Dennis Rodman. I mean, we're turning this into an NWO Because he made the NWO mention. Cody did. Said that Pat McAfee is like Disco Inferno. Cody's promo was fucking great, but yeah, put Dennis Rodman out there in Cody's corner. See if Pat McAfee wants a piece of him. So the punter, the one-time Super Bowl winner, John Michaels then says if you're not down with stand and deliver, he's got 2 words for you, and him Sexy Red say suck it. Sexy Red looking phenomenal. We get an intro video on the rival Joe Henry, Ethan Page, Ricky Saint, Tony D, Saul Ruka, Zarya, Kendall Gray, and Lola Vice. So then Big Joe, WWE Hall of Famer Booker T welcomes us to the show, and Lola Vice makes her way down to the ring for the first match of the night of Stand and Deliver, followed by Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair, and then JC Jane is the last one to come out. She comes to Gorilla. There's TV screens on both sides, like all the accomplishments of JC Jane. Very emotional for me. She's my favorite. I just she was losing. But yeah, great match though. So we're gonna see JC Jane defend against Lola Vice and Kendall Gray. Match was all with JC's telling both of them neither of them deserve to be here. She pushes them. They push back. They kick JC and hit a double thrust kick to send her to the floor. Kendall Gray then blocks a kick. Lola blocks an arm drag. Lola then gets a roll up for a count of 2. Kendall Gray then gets a roll up for a near fall. Lola then gets a roll up again for a near fall. They both go for a back slide, and JC rolls them over to get a near fall on both. JC then applies a waist lock and kicks Kendall Gray. Kendall Gray then kicks Lola and goes for a roll up on JC for a count of 2. Lola goes for another roll up on JC, but JC holds on to the ropes and hits a clothesline. JC then hits Kendall then hits a double drop kick, and JC goes to the floor. Kendall Gray then goes for a pinfall on Lola Vice for count of 2. Kendall Gray then gets a gator roll. Lola hits an Irish whip. Kendall Gray hits a knee. Kendall Gray floats over and goes to the apron and avoids Lola, but JC pulls her off the apron. JC then sends Kendall Gray into the ring steps, and Lola hits the ass, the thing where she runs into the corner with her rear end to JC off the apron. Lola then sends JC back into the ring, and Lola hits an axe kick to the back for a count of 2. Lola then hits a kick to the midsection and follows it up with a second one. JC then delivers a wrist lock takedown, but Lola hits a punch. Fallon Henley on the outside distracts Lola to try for a kick. JC then hits a high knee, and she punches and kicks Lola in the head. JC then hits a back senton and goes to the pin and gets a count of 2. JC applies a reverse chin lock on Lola. Lola backs JC into the turnbuckle to try to escape. JC then sends Lola into the turnbuckles. Lola then hits a kick to JC, and Gray hits a cross body, but JC rolls through for a count of 2. JC then hits a double knee gut buster to Kendall Gray from a fireman's carry position. Lola then gets a near fall on JC Jane. Then Kendall Gray floats over Lola, but JC hits a kick to Gray and a cannonball to both women, which were stacked on top of each other in the corner. Cody's a great promo when they let Cody loose, which is far too rare. Yeah. A lot of people are not going to believe this, but I do believe Cody Rhodes is one of the best storytellers in professional wrestling. So when Pat McAfee says he's saving wrestling, well, not really, buddy. You're saving it for. What do you say? What are we saving it from? People like you that got choked out by Gunther, and now you're the fucking hitman for Randy. I don't blame you for being mad about it. I'm Team Rock always, NXT best brand they had. 100%. I'm gonna get myself ready to sleep. Open my goat, Charlie Dakota, title soon. Good night, Billy. Thanks for stopping in. All right, so JC hits a backbreaker and a short arm clothesline for a near fall. Laney Reed then grabs Lola's foot. JC hits a net breaker in the rope. Kendall Gray then gets an inside cradle on JC for a near fall. Kendall Gray then delivers some kicks to JC, followed by some forearms. Kendall then has a sunset flip. JC rolls through and kicks Kendall. JC slams Kendall Gray's head into the mat. JC then hits a back senton and goes to the turnbuckles. Kendall Gray then punches JC, and Lola comes under for a powerbomb on Kendall Gray, and Gray hits a slam to JC. Lola then gets a near fall on both women. Lola then hits a kick to Kendall Gray and follows it up. So it's fast kicks. Lola then hits a spin kick to JC, and it's time for the hip shaking, hip strike. Lola then hits a stink face on JC, and she hits a belly to back suplex. Kendall Gray then hits a German suplex to Lola, and the straps calm down, aka Kurt Angle. Kendall Gray then hits a wrist clutch suplex to JC and to Lola, and then hits a German suplexes to both women. JC hits a knee to Kendall Gray for a count of 2. JC delivered a punch to Lola, and Lola punches back. They then go back and forth. Lola then hits a kick, and JC hits a forearm. Lola then hits a back heel kick, and JC hits a thrust kick, and a few more to Lola. JC misses a boot, and Lola hits a spinning back heel kick to the temple, but Kendall Gray breaks up the pinfall. Lola then hits some more kicks and a spinning heel kick and another round kick, with JC pulls Lola out of the ring and sends her into the apron. JC then hits a running kick on the apron to Lola, but JC injured her ankle. I didn't see that. Kendall Gray then counters a running knee and rolls into an ankle lock. JC then goes to the rope, but there are no breaks. JC then gets a roll up for a count of 2. Kendall then reapplies the ankle lock. Lola then applies the rear naked choke, the Kimura on Kendall Gray. Kendall Gray then hits a spear and a near fall. Lola then finally applies the guillotine on Kendall Gray, and she rolls through. JC then hits a running knee to Lola, but then JC goes for then misses the rolling elbow, and Kendall Gray hits a spinning back elbow. Lola then misses a back fist, and Kendall Gray goes for a cross arm breaker. Lola then gets a roll up for a count of 2. Kendall Gray is then knocked out, and JC covers, and Lola ends up putting Kendall Gray's foot on the rope, so she actually saved the match right there. She ended up winning. Ren then hits a crossbody onto Laney and Fallon, taking them out of the equation. JC then hits a crossbody to Lola, and JC looked for her backup. Kendall Gray then hits a moonsault off the turnbuckles onto JC and Lola on the floor. Kendall goes up top, and she hits a flatliner on JC, but Lola applies a rear naked choke, and Kendall Gray floats over, reverse, on count of 2. Lola then holds on to the rear naked choke, and Lola hits a knee. JC Jane then hits a forearm to Kendall Gray, and she goes to the floor. And then Lola Vice hits a spinning back fist to JC Jane for the 1, 2, 3. And we have a new champion, which is Lola Vice. Congratulations to Lola Vice, well deserved. Hate to see JC's last match in NXT. More than likely, I would pretty much assume that. But that's up to all 3 ladies. Phenomenal match. But Lola Vice is your new NXT champion, women's NXT champion. So then to the Vanity Project and Los Americanos backstage. Jody then airs a vignette to hype up the NXT arrival of I don't know if I'm pronouncing Kaylee Armstrong. I believe she comes from Evolve. She's coming to NXT. So Los Americanos make their way down to the ring for the next match. Just going to kind of quickly go through some of these. We're already 45 minutes into the stream. Let's see what Stampede's rating for this match was. The Vanity Project, Brad Baylor and Ricky Smoke versus Los Americanos, 6.75. So I'm not going to go through everything in this match. I will get to the very end of it. Just kind of go through that. So, Raya hits a bitter end for near fall. Drake then takes the middle piece. And Grande hits a clothesline. Brad then hits a dive to Grande. Bravo then hits a super kick. And Ryo goes up top. But Ricky pushes Ryo off the turnbuckles. Drake then hits a forearm to Bravo. And they hit a double stomp reverse DDT for the 1, 2, 3. So still your NXT Tag Team Champions, which made no sense to take the titles off of them, is the Vanity Project. We then head to the back with Charlotte Hill and Tatum Paxley. Charlotte seems excited after winning his first stand and deliver match. Tatum Paxley says it's just the beginning. She then says she was in the same position last year and she has come a long way. She then says she doesn't have her title to show her success. Charlotte then said Blake Monroe is not ready for Tatum Paxley. So then we see Sexy Red again, looking to celebrate. Ricky Saints walks up to them and tells Sexy Red, says Sexy Red doesn't have to hang with them. He then says she can hang with him after he wins the NXT Championship tonight. So then we get ready for the next matchup of the night, which, in my opinion, I don't know. They were all the matches were great, but Soul Zarya was really good. Zarya makes her way down to the ring. Be one-on-one Sol Ruca versus Zarya. This match had some crazy ass moves from Sol Ruca. She hit the Soul Snatcher like outside, and you could hear that loud ass thud. It's like the air just completely come out of her. And Zarya actually kicked out of one Soul Snatcher, which was great. Kind of go through some of the highlights of this match. Zarya versus Sol Ruca, 7.65. So far you have the women's triple threat as the highest rating match, and I agree so far. So let's just kind of go through some stuff here. I'm not going to go through everything. Go to Sol does a leapfrog. Zarya goes to the corner. Zarya delivers an elbow. Sol then hits an elbow to block the choke with the turnbuckles. Sol then hits a round kick. And leaps up and hits a Frankensteiner. They go face to face and nose to nose on the ground, like rolling towards each other. Sol then hits a slap. Zarya punches back. They continue to exchange blows. Sol then hits some chops and a thrust kick. Sol then hits an uppercut and a series of back elbows and delivers a German suplex. Sol then goes to the turnbuckles for a missile drop kick and hits it. Sol then misses a kick and a back heel kick. Zarya then lifts Sol up, but Sol gets to her feet. Sol suplexes Zarya over the top rope. Zarya then lands on the apron and Sol's head bounces off the top rope. Sol then falls to the floor. Sol then sends Zarya into the apron several times. They then return to the ring. Sol goes for a Soul Snatcher, but Zarya hits a thrust kick. Zarya then goes to the ramp, but Sol moves against the ropes. Sol then goes for a splash off the ropes, and Zarya catches her. Sol Ruca then avoids the clothesline and hits a Soul Snatcher on the ramp, which was, for me, the craziest Soul Snatcher I've seen yet so far. I don't know how she didn't get hurt. She is fucking phenomenal with that move. Zarya then gets back up before Sol and Zarya. Zarya ends up hitting a spear back into the ring. Zarya goes for the F5, but her back gives out, and Sol hits a Soul Snatcher for a count of 2. Zarya kicked out of the Soul Snatcher. Sol then goes to the apron and she goes for a springboard flip into a clothesline, but Zarya hits a spear and an F5, and then Sol Ruca kicked out of the spear and the F5. Zarya then holds Sol and goes down to her knee. Zarya refuses. Sol's like kind of pleading with Zarya. She doesn't fall for it this time. Zarya then gets Sol on her shoulders. You don't really like the Soul Snatcher. I mean, I like it. I think that she just needs to be really fucking careful with that maybe because just one wrong, but like you said, there is a lot of moving parts. One wrong move, and she could seriously be injured. So, um, Soul escaped. They exchanged forearms on turnbuckle. Soul then hits the Super X Factor and then hits the Soul Snatcher again for the 1, 2, 3. So Soul phenomenal. But she's got to be going up to the main roster soon. I don't really understand she's facing Izzy Dame Tuesday on NXT. So she's not going up right this second because WrestleMania hasn't passed. So I don't know. I don't know what they do with her. Is she gonna go after the NXT Women's Championship? Is she gonna have another match with Zarya? I don't know what they're doing with her. But she needs to go up. I think Zarya needed to go over tonight, though, in my personal opinion. But Soruka gets the win over Zarya. So then we head to the back with the new WWE NXT Women's Champion Lola Vice. Damian Priest and Lola gonna be celebrating tonight. She runs into Robert Stone, who congratulates her. The NXT General Manager then says he is proud of Lola Vice. Robert Stone then says there's going to be a lot of women coming after her, but for now, Lola Vice will have a championship celebration next Tuesday on NXT. So not only will we have Jasper Troy, Josh Briggs, and Kiana Carver in a triple threat, Soruka versus Izzy Dame will be having a championship celebration for Lola Vice. And I do believe the WWE Men's Speed Tournament, Speed Champion Tournament will kick off as well because it had to be vacated. So Lola, Sexy Red shows up, and her and Lola Vice start shaking their ass. So, interesting there. So then we go to the next match of the night. It is Johnny freaking Wrestling. Makes his way down to the ring from that, accompanied by Candice LeRae. She looked phenomenal tonight. Candice looked really good tonight. And he's going to be going one-on-one to WWE NXT North American Champion. I call him Baby Randy. Miles Bourne. Match was fucking really good. So the match starts off with both men locking up. Miles gets a takedown. Both men then lock up again. Miles applies a wrist lock. Miles then blocks a reversal attempt. Johnny then hits an arm drag, but Miles holds on to the arm bar. Johnny backs Miles into the corner. Miles hits an Irish whip. Johnny then tries to put over, but Miles doesn't move. Miles then hits a side headlock takedown. Johnny then hits a forearm, and Miles hits a shoulder tackle. Johnny then drops down, begins to take a nap, just like he was doing on the crates. Candice LeRae wasn't having that. Miles is confused, and Johnny hits an arm drag and a head scissors. Johnny then hits a drop kick, and Miles goes to the floor. Going later on to the match. A lot of close counters here. Johnny hits a suicide dive and sends Miles back into the ring. Johnny then goes up top. Miles stops him. Miles Bourne, Johnny Gargano, 7.55. So the women's NXT Championship match is still in the lead with Stampede ratings. Yeah, none of the matches, besides, I believe it was the Vanity Project you gave, the 6 point something to. Let's see. So 8.75 for the JC match. Vanity Project is your lowest rating or so far, which is 6.75. So Johnny delivered some punches and Enziguri. Miles hits a drop kick. Johnny comes off the rope. And Miles hits a German suplex. Johnny then hits a kick, and Miles hits a jumping punch. Miles then hits a Yushi Garashi. I guess that's how it's pronounced. Miles then delivered a clothesline to the top rope and onto the ramp. Johnny hits a DDT into the ropes and a slingshot DDT for a near fall. Johnny then hits a thrust kick, and Johnny goes for a Gargano escape, but Miles hits a Bourne again. Johnny Gargano kicks out because Miles didn't get the full impact on it because his left arm is injured. Johnny then kicks Miles while Miles goes for a Boston Crab. And during this match, Candice LeRae was super engaged, kept pointing to the title belt, kept trying to pump up Johnny Gargano. Johnny countered with a roll up for a near fall. Miles goes for a roll up, but Candice LeRae punches Miles Bourne. At this point, I was like, oh shit, we might get a new champ. Johnny kicks out. Johnny then gets a roll up, but Miles Bourne kicks out. Johnny applies the Gargano escape. Miles then tries to escape, but Johnny holds on, going for that submission hold that he beat so many people with. And by the way, it was pointed out that Johnny Gargano actually had the same tights on tonight, same gear that he had, I believe, his last NXT match, which was against Grayson Waller, which was very interesting. $7.55. So they go to the ramp. Johnny then hits some punches. Miles then gets Johnny up, but Johnny gets into the ring, hits a super kick. Miles then hits a forearm and a slingshot. Born again. Miles then follows it up again with another born again for the 1, 2, 3. So super great match. But Miles Bourne, which made the most sense, because he has a rocket ship attached to him. NXT is super high on him. Bourne for greatness. He defeats Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano puts Miles Bourne over, but no time to rest, Miles, because after the match, Dion Lennox ambushes Miles Bourne from behind with a steel chair, pounds away at the NXT North American Champion. The Dark State leader then drops Miles Bourne on a chair to send him a stern warning. So I guess they're setting up Miles Bourne's next feud, which will be against Dion Lennox. So we then head to the back with Sarah Shriver, and she is with Sol Ruca. Sol Ruca says she has been in ladder matches, Iron Survivor challenges, and the Royal Rumble, but facing Zarya was her hardest match yet. She then says she now wants to put her focus where it belongs. So I'm guessing that means NXT Championship. I don't know. Johnny may have a different ship attached to him. Could. She then says she wants to put her focus where it belongs, which I can only assume that means the NXT Women's Championship, but why? She needs to go up. Izzy Dame shows up and says she doesn't deserve another opportunity to gold after winning just one match. Izzy Dame then says she will give Sol Ruca a few days to physically and emotionally recover, and makes it clear that she's the one going after the gold, which would make more sense to do Izzy Dame and Lola Vice for the NXT Women's Championship, with Izzy being a heel. But they will go one-on-one Tuesday. Sol Ruca versus Izzy Dame. So we go to our next matchup of the night, and it's for the Women's NXT North American Championship. Blake Monroe will challenge Tatum Paxley. Blake Monroe makes her way down to the ring, followed by Tatum Paxley. Match starts off with both women locking up. Tatum hits a forearm to Blake, followed by a high knee. Tatum then hits a shotgun drop kick. Blake then hits Tatum in the midsection. She now pounds away at Tatum after some back and forth. Oh, so we got a 6.75 right here. Same as the Vanity Project and Los Americanos. Yeah, they got to do better with Blake. I don't know what they're going to do. Now she looks like she's going to be with the Vanity Project. Maybe they help catapult her or help her get a title. I don't fucking know. After some back and forth, Tatum hits a flying crossbody to Blake for a near fall. Blake then hits Tatum with a forearm. She then chops Tatum. Blake then hits a Hurricane Rana, sending Tatum to the steel ramp. Tatum look like she has separated her shoulder. Back in the ring, Blake sends Tatum into the corner with authority and follows it up with a drop kick. Blake sends Tatum into the corner, hits her with a German suplex for a near fall. Blake then applies a crossface on Tatum, and she finally fights out of it. The two women then exchange blows in the center of the ring. Tatum then hits a step up enziguri and follows it up with a side slam. Tatum then rolls out of the ring, hits a kick, and follows it up with a super kick under the jaw. Both women are now down and out. Tatum is wounded. Blake is now trying to kick through her injured shoulder. Tatum then heads to the top rope, but Blake pulls her back. Blake then hits Tatum with a roundhouse kick. Tatum then hits Blake with a superplex and follows it up with another one. She then goes for a third time and hits a sit-down powerbomb for a count of 2. Both women exchange headbutts. Blake then delivers a German suplex. Tatum hits Blake with a powerbomb, but Blake is able to roll to the outside of the ring. Tatum then runs into a kick on the apron. Blake then hits a powerbomb to Tatum outside the ring. Both women are on their backs. They then return to the ring, and Blake hits a running knee for only a count of 2. Blake then pulls off the middle and bottom turnbuckle pads, trying to cheat. Blake is then sent to the floor. Blake then hits Tatum with the title belt, which at that point I'm like, all right, well, here we go. Like, Tatum just keeps kicking out everything. Blake then hits a Death Valley driver, but Tatum kicks out at the count of 2. Blake then puts Tatum on the turnbuckles in the corner with the exposed turnbuckles. Tatum then hits a forearm to send Blake to the mat. Tatum then lands on her feet for a Hurricane Rana attempt, and Tatum hits a rolling kick. She almost hits the turnbuckle. Blake then hits a headbutt, and Tatum hits the bottom turn, and then Tatum does hit that bottom exposed turnbuckle. Blake then delivers her finisher, the glamour shot, but Tatum practically kicks out at 2. Blake Monroe cannot put her away. Tatum then counters a second glamour shot into the cemetery drive for the 1, 2, 3, and Tatum practically has retained the Women's NXT North American Championship. Shocker there for me, though, honestly. So then we see Dark State celebrating in the stairway. Deion Lennox said he was going to make a statement tonight. NXT stand delivers. Saquon Sugar then says it was you, not us. He then says you look fine out there by yourself. He then says they didn't fly out here to watch. He then said you're only looking out for yourself. He then says they are not your lackeys. Dissension with Dark State. He then says Deion said they would be equal. Deion then says Saquon is right. He should have told all of them. Deion then says he has a plan for all of them. He then tells them to trust him, and this Tuesday they will go back to their roots. So I guess that means the title. So we then get comments from Joshua Troy, Kiana Carver, and Josh Briggs about their upcoming triple threat match coming up Tuesday on NXT. It is then announced that the men's speed tournament starts Tuesday on NXT, and Saul Ruka goes one-on-one with Izzy Dame. And there will be a championship celebration for your new women's NXT champion, which you can see in my background. We move over so you can see Kendall's pretty face, JC, and the new women's NXT champion, Paula Vice. We then head to the back with Tatum Paxley, and she'll celebrate with Shiloh Hill, Hank Walker, Tank Ledger, Ren Sinclair, and EK Prospect. Jackson Drake and the Vanity Project then run into Blake Monroe and ask her, is there anything we can do for you? Blake Monroe then asked them. She said, yeah, absolutely. There is something you can do for me. And she says, come with her. And then she tells them to bring a hairbrush. So how can the Vanity Project help Blake Monroe? So we get to the main event of NXT Stand and Deliver. It is the Fatal 4-Way for the men's NXT Championship. The winner of this match completed something that no one else has been able to do, and that is become a Grand Slam champion in NXT. So I was super happy with the result of this, because I do think that Ricky Saints and Ethan Page are going up for sure. So it's going to be Tony D'Angelo versus Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page against the At this point in time, the NXT Men's Champion Joe Henry. Tony D then makes his way down to the ring. Ethan Page makes his way down. Ricky Saints next, followed by Ethan Page, and then Joe Henry last. So the match started off with all four men staring one another down. Ricky Saints and Ethan Page launched a 2-on-1 attack on Joe Henry and Tony D'Angelo. So then Joe and Tony D then wiped them out. Joe Henry then hits a headbutt to Ricky Saints. Tony D then drops Ethan Page. Joe Henry hits a swinging neckbreaker to Tony D'Angelo. He then launches Ethan Page into Tony D'Angelo. Joe Henry now turns his attention to Ricky Saints and hits him with a delayed vertical suplex. Ethan Page then hits a big boot to Joe Henry. Ricky Saints and Ethan Page are now working together against Joe Henry. Joe Henry then hits a series of headbutts and chops. Ricky Saints then hits a running knee. Ethan Page then slams him into the mat. Ethan and Ricky then hit Joe Henry with a double suplex, and both men begin to argue. So maybe they will have like a one-off maybe with Ricky and Ethan before they go up. I don't know. It would make sense. Tony D then gets on the apron, but Ethan Page hits him with a kick. Ethan Page then hits Ricky Saints with a suplex. Joe Henry then hits an uppercut to Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints then hits an uppercut of his own and follows it up with a stunner. Both men then cover Joe Henry together, but Joe Henry kicks out at 2. Ricky Saints then sends Joe Henry into the corner and slaps him across the face. Ricky Saints hits a superplex on Joe Henry. Ethan Page then hits a splash on Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints then hits Ethan Page with a spear, and then Tony D then hits a spear to Ricky Saints. Joe Henry then hits an attitude adjustment to Tony D. Ricky Saints and Ethan Page then apply a double Boston Crab on Joe Henry. Tony D'Angelo then breaks that up. Then hits a back body drop to Ethan Page and sends him to the outside of the ring. Ricky Saints then suffers the same fate as Ethan Page. Tony D'Angelo then hits Joe Henry with the spine buster, and the fight spills to the outside. Ethan Page then sends Tony D'Angelo. And there goes my phone. I don't know why it does this. I almost got all the way to the end of the freaking show. My phone. So my phone cover on the side broke. So like my buttons are like going off randomly. Sorry about that, guys. Get to the end down here to this. Here we go. Joe Henry versus Ethan Page with Ricky Saints for Tony D'Angelo 7.35. So in Stampede ratings, the women's NXT championship match with Lola Vice, Josie Jane, and Kendall Perry had the highest rating, and I 100% agree. I do hope we see JC one more time on NXT, but like I said, we gotta go do WrestleMania. Maybe she shows up Tuesday or something. But NXT was fucking slow as hell with putting matches out. Obviously with a PLE that makes sense. Alright. So Ricky Saints, alright. I'm trying to see where I picked up. Yeah, Tony D'Angelo breaks up the fall. He hits a back body drop to Ethan Page, sends him outside the ring. Tony D then hits Joe Henry with a spine buster, and the fight spills to the outside. Ethan Page and sends Tony D into the steel steps. Ricky Saints and hits Tony D'Angelo with a Revolution DDT. You know, I was really Kendall's reverse elbow reminds me a lot of how Andrade does his. I was literally thinking about that. Kendall's great. She is. She is. They don't need to rush her to the main roster. She needs to be on NXT for a while. When she finally wins the title, have a really good, solid reign with that title. But she is fucking she's gonna be something. She's already something special, but she's really gonna be great. Back in the ring, Joe Henry goes for a standing ovation on Ethan Page, but Ricky Saints chops him down. Joe Henry then hits a double suplex to Ethan Page and Ricky Saints. All three men run into a clothesline. Joe Henry then hits a Hurricane Run to Ethan Page. He now tosses Tony D'Angelo. Joe then catches Ricky Saints and sends him into Ethan Page outside the ring. So then Joe and Tony D are now exchanging blows in the center of the ring. Tony D'Angelo then hits German suplexes to all three men. Joe Henry then hits Tony D'Angelo with another DDT. Then Tony D'Angelo fights back, and he hits Joe Henry with back-to-back spears. He goes for the cover, but Joe Henry kicked out at 2. Ricky Saints and hits Joe Henry with the Revolution DDT on a steel chair. Ethan Page breaks up the fall. Ethan Page and Ricky Saints over the top rope. Spike is filled to the outside. Ethan Page then hits a power slam to Ricky Saints, sending him crashing through the table. Tony D'Angelo then attacks Ethan Page and Ricky Saints from behind. Back in the ring, Joe Henry goes for a standing ovation, but Tony D'Angelo hits Joe Henry with a spear, and then Tony D'Angelo hits a dead to right for the 1, 2, 3. Tony D is now the new men's NXT champion and has completed step number 2 when he came back, and now it's winning the NXT championship and is now a Grand Slam champion. After the match, Tony D celebrates his win as a new champion. He stands tall, raising the NXT championship high above his head, and NXT Stand and Deliver comes to a close. So this was a great show, guys. I would give it an 8. An overall 8. Compared to what we've been seeing on the main roster. Very good show. Very good show, top to bottom. I mean, the pre-show match wasn't great. I think that Stampede, did you give a ranking for the pre-show match? Because I think that would probably be my worst ranking. It's that out of nowhere move that can easily end a match, similar to Ospreay's Hidden Blade. Yeah, I know who Will Ospreay is. Like I said, I'll have to talk to you more about the AEW stuff. I know a lot of people on the roster. Obviously, Ospreay, Omega, MJF, which I think he's absolutely fucking best in the business. Moxley, Edge, Copeland, all them. So I did not rank the pre-match. Yeah, it was like a 5.5. So, coming up for NXT Tuesday, Lola Vice will have her championship celebration. So, Ruka goes one-on-one with Izzy Dame. The NXT Men's Speed Championship Tournament kicks off. Jasper Troy, Kiana Carver, and Josh Briggs will have a triple threat match. Like I said, not Lola Vice. So, Ruka goes one-on-one with Izzy Dame. So shout out to everyone that tuned in tonight to the NXT Stand and Deliver recap show. And I love seeing all those YouTube comments. It really helps the stream and my channel. So thank you so much to you guys. And shout out to everyone that tuned in tonight. 111 viewers. So thank you guys so much. I started early. I've been late lately, so I wanted to start off early. So I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody. More than a diamond, unseen bling, highest queen, commented from X. Make sure you give her a follow on X. Make sure you follow Talk It Up Podcast and give them a subscription on YouTube. Director Red, World of Greg. Also, After the Slam Podcast are doing big things with broadcasting and stuff like that. And then he's got some interviews. He does a lot of interviews and stuff. So make sure you give him a follow on X. TikTok, Instagram, and a subscription on YouTube as well. Shout out to Wild Child Billy. Shout out to Kyle. See you again, Kyle. Stampede as always. Can't wait to talk with you more. And WrestleMania prediction. Shout out to Lou. Good to see you as well. I think that is everybody. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all these YouTube comments. I really appreciate it. And the 111 people tuned in live. So like I said, make sure you follow the CEO, the head of the table, Miami the Great. The Unseen Bling Queen, like I said. Talking Up Wrestling Podcast. Subscription on YouTube. After the Slam Podcast as well. Walter Greg, Director Reg. Everybody is affiliated with Gimmick Table Media. So just a couple of quick announcements. We are at this present time, we are full. We will have a 10-person panel, which is fucking crazy. We just did it for Stand and Deliver. And looks like we're gonna do it. I gotta find Lou's comment. I am talking to some people in DMs. Not gonna release any names right now. But I have spoken with a few people about possibly setting up some interviews to come on the EVP show on like after WrestleMania and stuff. When I have a couple of days off, when I'm not streaming anything, even if I have to like skip a week of TNA or something to these interviews. So I haven't got anything confirmed yet, but I've been messaged about 6 or 7 people. So we've been kind of chatting back and forth. So not gonna give out any names yet until it's official, but definitely on the lookout. I'm also, if anybody is interested in having someone come on talk wrestling, I'm always open to coming on to another podcast. That's how I started doing this. And I feel like it's great to get on somebody else's shows, share different insights. So yeah, I'm always open to come on anybody's podcast. So just shoot me a DM. If I have an open day, I definitely will come on. I was just on Wrestling Divas podcast this past Tuesday with Lady Alpha and Autumn. They do an amazing job. Make sure you give them a follow as well on X and subscription on YouTube. So quick, like I said, the WrestleMania prediction show will be April the 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Full panel. Just to run through some of the people we have. We're gonna have Lou, Caleb, Nitro Oblivion, me, that's 4, Stampede, Chris Branson from FTCS Podcast, that's 6, Mob Squad from Michael, to 7, DJ Khaled is 8, Sean, which is 9, and possibly could be leaving somebody out. Not sure. I have to go back and check the list, but I do know I have 9 spots filled. So yeah, we got a full panel. I have to go back and look and see who everybody is that's on there, but it's mainly everybody that was on NXT Stand and Deliver besides Lady Alpha. Nitro Oblivion will be taking her spot, so full panel, and then I'll have 2 people in the comments as well with their predictions. So Raymond and Russell Fanatic. So yeah, April 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern. So go ahead and hit that notification bell on my channel. It lets you know when I go live for every stream. Look, at least 5 days a week. WrestleMania week will be another 7-day week here on the EVP show. Also on April 19th, which is WrestleMania Night 2, I will not be doing Sunday Scoops. So if you want to check out Scoops, make sure you come tune in tomorrow and next Sunday, because there will not be a Scoop show on the 19th, as I will be doing a Night 1 recap and a Night 2 recap of WrestleMania. Last announcement, starting April 26th, 11:30 p.m. Eastern every Sunday, I will be covering the new season of LFG Season 3. I will break down each episode each week. Probably be a short stream, probably 30 to 45 minutes, something like that, going through everything that happened on LFG. So looking forward to that. All right, guys, this has been your NXT Stand and Deliver recap show. Shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight. I'm going to go ahead and go to the outro, and then I will be back to tell you guys where you can find me on my socials and what I have coming up tomorrow, which happy Easter to everyone, by the way. Hope you guys enjoy your time with your loved ones. Hopefully, I will be back home next Easter and holiday. Hoping to be back home before any more of the big holidays, so that I can get back to normal. So, yeah. So happy Easter to everyone. Hope you guys enjoy spending time with your family. Eat some good food for me. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the outro, and then I'll be back to tell you where you can find me on my socials and what I have coming up tomorrow and next week.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, show recap prediction sports
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go.
All right, once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to your NXT Stand and Deliver recap show live on the EVP show. And shout out to the 115 viewers that we have live watching either on my YouTube channel, my X, or on Talk It Up podcast. So for the remainder of this tomorrow and next week, we're testing it out until I can get the upgrade where I can stream onto Miami's page and Talk It Up at the same time, and also my Instagram and TikTok. Once I'm able to get the upgrade, StreamYard is charged an arm and a leg for the fucking max package. It's about close to $100 a month. So I have the core plan right now, so I can only stream to 3 platforms at once. So as far as where you can find me on my socials, it's streaming across the bottom of the screen. All my links are in my bio. If you find me on any of my socials, you will be able to find my YouTube page. So if you're not following me on X, you can find me at EVPCJP. Once you follow me, you can see at the top of my X page, my YouTube page is pinned. So if you have any friends and family or if you enjoy my content, you think you have any friends and family that might enjoy wrestling content, recaps, prediction shows, LFG, TNA, NXT, Raw, SmackDown, and possibly one day AEW, make sure that you tell them about it. Send them the link. Thank you guys so much for helping me get over 200 subscribers before WrestleMania. I believe I'm at 212. So the next goal is to get to 300. So thank you guys so much for that. On every one of my social platforms, like I said, you can find my YouTube channel in my bio. So on Instagram, you can find me at EVPCJP as well. TikTok, it's at Brady, BRADY, DA Goat 21, at Brady the Goat 21. And both on Instagram and TikTok, you can see my YouTube link in the bio. Last but not least, most importantly, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not already subscribed, like I said, you can find it on any of those platforms. Or if you're just looking for it in the search bar, all you have to do is type in at the EVP show. If you are watching the stream live tonight on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. I've been saying it like this whole week. My ultimate goal, I try to set small goals and then eventually get to bigger. I would love to get 10 likes on one stream. I believe the NXT Stand and Deliver prediction show, or it might have been the last Sunday Scoop, to the highest I've gotten, which was either 7 or 8 likes. So I'm shooting for 10 likes, guys. So if you guys watching tonight, make sure you like the stream. I've seen a shit ton of comments on YouTube, which that's phenomenal for the channel, for the stream, and all that. So thank you guys for that. But if you are watching, or if you go back and watch this, make sure you just hit that like button. If you want to hit send a comment, obviously I will get back to you on that as soon as I see. Carlos was the person that I didn't mention. So yeah, we have a full panel of 10 for WrestleMania. So yeah, if you go back and watch this, make sure you hit that like button. Try to help me get to them 10 likes. And then we'll move to 15, and then we'll move to 20. So it's a slow process. It's taking forever to build up subscribers. I feel like the more content I put out, I feel like I would get more subscribers than I have, but it's taking a very long time. But we'll get there. I just need to maybe start setting up some interviews, stuff like that. Just kind of get my name out there a little bit more platforms to stream to and stuff like that. So yeah, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you already are subscribed, hit that notification bell and you will know when I go live. So tomorrow is Easter Sunday. Most people will not be streaming. I will. I had a request for about 3 or 4 people. Sunday night scoop tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time, live here on the EVP Show channel. It's episode number 16, I believe. So make sure you tune into that. Like I said, April 19th will not be a scoop. So tune in tomorrow and then next Sunday. And there will be 1 week off from scoops for WrestleMania. I'll be back Monday night at 11 p.m. Eastern as we're on our way to WrestleMania for your Raw recap. Tuesday night, the fallout from NXT 10 Deliver. I've already told you guys about the matches schedule. I'll be back Tuesday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for your NXT recap. Wednesday, I have no stream. So it'll be my first day from no streaming in 10 days, which I will enjoy that day. But I will be back Thursday night. It is the go home show right before the TNA PLE that's coming up next weekend. It's the TNA recap show live Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then Friday night, I'm back again at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time for your War Down or SmackDown recap show at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Friday. This coming up Saturday, off, no stream. Then next Sunday will be the last scoop before WrestleMania. And that will be Sunday Night Scoop episode number 17 at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So that is the schedule for tomorrow and next week. And then once the new week starts, once I get it planned out, I will give you guys the schedule for WrestleMania week. With that being said, thank you guys again for tuning in to the NXT Stand and Deliver recap show. Make sure you guys like this stream. Like I said, if you go back and watch it later, make sure to just hit that like button. It's super simple. Just hit that like button. Spam the shit out of the likes. Help me out with that. And if you have friends, share the link. Help me get some subscribers. So I appreciate everything you guys do. Showing up each and every night to listen to these recap shows. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoy Easter, and I will see some of you guys, probably not a whole lot, but some of you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern for Sunday Night Scoop with the EVP, episode number 16. Hit that reminder button, notification bell, and join me at 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP. With that being said, guys, happy Easter. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your food, family, friends, loved ones. I'll see some of you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern for Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP. I am the EVP from the EVP Show and the Golden Boy of DWE. DWE is the only place to be. Happy Easter, everyone. And for some of you guys, I will see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time for Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP. Good night, everyone.